my Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan. And in those three holy and righteous names, I greet you, my sisters and brothers, in the greeting words of peace of Assalamu alaikum. How's everyone today?
Fine.
You all look so beautiful. It's really good to see everyone. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to be here last week. I had a family engagement. It was our first cousins get together. So it was something that we just started. Once we started, we said we're going to continue with annually. We had a beautiful time. I was really glad that that I participated in it. I still thought of us, thought of my brothers and sisters here, but I had to share with my family, and we really enjoyed it. I just wanted to share just a few words since this is our national fast. Just want to speak a little bit on fasting. Something came to mind this morning when I woke up, and I was like, oh God, I can't wait till I can eat, because I feel like, you know how we feel a little something, and I just thought about our little brothers and sisters in Africa. I mean, I could see those faces of those children, how they have nothing hardly to eat, and the water they drink is, really dirty. And I thought about the brothers and sisters in Palestine who are running to get loads of food, if they're able to get any without being shot or whatever, because they're taking a chance even to get that. So I thought about how super blessed I am, and all of us, just to be able to have food every day. I mean, it's to me, it really that's the first time I really thought about that, because of the way I felt physically, how they must feel every day. They every day they feel that way. So, again, we should be thankful and just know that we are truly blessed to have what we have. So I just wanted to share a little bit in How to Eat to Live, fasting. On page 46, or 45, I'm sorry, Yom Elijah Muhammad talks about fasting. He says, there is so much food of various kinds in the earth for us to eat. We could hardly mention by names. We are the wisest of all life on the earth and in the heavens above the earth. Almighty God, Allah, in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom praise is due forever, has taught me we must have regularity in everything we do. Since the earth is full of food, this does not mean we should try to eat the food all day long. We should eat one meal a day, and when we eat this one meal, be sure it is of the best food for our bodies to digest and to keep us alive without our lives being agitated by enemies from the food and drinks we put in our bodies. We have to safeguard our health against the enemies of our health by eating one meal a day. This gives an enemy, germ, that may be in our food, time to die, to be completely dead at the end of 24 hours. So when we're eating, if we continuously put food in our body, we're not giving that food time to digest, and we're putting more and more and more. And everything that we eat, because of this world that we live in, has some degree of poison in it. So we are doing ourselves a big favor if we do eat at least one meal a day. Give that 24 hours, that food that we ate, time to digest before we have any more food into our bodies. Okay? Fasting is one of the greatest doctors we have. Fasting is prescribed for us in the Holy Quran and in the Bible. The Bible does not teach us as much of how good fasting is health-wise as the Holy Quran does. The Bible's teaching on fasting is mostly spiritual purpose. On one occasion, we find where Moses fasted for the cure of his sister Miriam, who had contracted leprosy because of speaking carelessly of Moses. Her brother Moses then had to seek a cure from God for her. So I'm going to switch over, and I'm going to read a little bit about fasting in the Holy Quran. O you who believe, fasting is prescribed for you, as it was prescribed for those before you, so that you may guard against evil, for a certain number of days. But whoever among you is sick or on a journey, he shall fast a like number of other days. And those who find it extremely hard may effect redemption by feeding a poor man. So whoever does good spontaneously, it is better for him, and that you fast is better for you if you know. The month of Ramadan is that in which the Quran was revealed, a guidance to men, and clear proofs of the guidance and the criterion. So whoever of you is present in the month, he shall fast therein, and whoever is sick or on a journey, he shall fast a like number of other days. So again, what that is saying, for the brother who may not understand, when we fast, if you become sick, you become ill, say you're ill for 2 days, then you can make up those days at a later time, or you can go out and feed the homeless for those 2 days. So Allah is very merciful, because he could just say fast no matter what, but he's merciful to say, if you're sick, don't worry about it. I'll give you some other form of compensation. So I just wanted to share a little bit about fasting, since this was our national fast this particular weekend. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring up Brother Ansar to the rostrum.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I too bear witness there is no God but Allah, and that we thank Him for His coming in the person of a human being, a man, but a special made man, for a people who in fact are special people. I mean special in the eyesight of God, not your neighbor. Upstairs, downstairs, around the corner, next door, just moved out, just moved in, don't matter. They may not, and many times don't see the greatness in the neighbor who's a stranger to them. The Bible warns us about being very careful how you entertain a stranger.
Yes, sir.
You just might be entertaining God. So this is a strange man. He came like a stranger. He came undetected, under no observation, right? For a moment. But when he came to these special people. We're taught that he came in and out of America from 1910 to 1930 before he even began to teach. He was studying the enemy. And he was studying our people, our special people. So we thank Allah for his coming in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, the great Mahdi. And we thank we thank Master Fard Muhammad for his wise choice in choosing the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. And we thank the two of them for leaving in our midst today. A friend, not a friend, a true friend, a devoted friend, a good, thank you, Brother Elijah, assalamu alaikum. Brother Rashad, can you come up? Just we want to make this as intimate as possible. You can sit next to your brother Elijah there. You don't want to be scattered out about. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Let me say that he is a true friend. He's more than a good brother. He's the best of good brothers. He is a wonderful counselor. Not just a counselor, but a wonderful counselor. And in him, he is wired with one of the greatest attributes of Allah, the mercy of Allah. Allah is the most merciful of those who show mercy, right?
Yes, sir.
We heard our sister Brenda say in explaining the fast that Allah is so merciful, he couldn't say, oh, no matter what, you're going to fast. And so the Most High Muhammad, sisters, brothers, he said he produced a book, several books, but one entitled The Fall of America. But the mercy of Allah on a wicked people, whoa, through his servant, full of mercy, that man produces a book, a torchlight for America.
Come on.
Not the fall of America. Not that book trumps the Most High Muhammad book, The Fall of America. Absolutely not. Go back, you and me, go back into those books. They are totally married, like a man with a woman, in the unification under the guidance of God. That's a real marriage there. A match made where? In heaven. So we thank Allah for his mercy in this servant that we have. He's a divine leader. He's a divine teacher. He's a divine God. I'm speaking none other than that beautiful human being, our dear beloved brother, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. It's in their three holy and righteous names that I greet you all with the greeting words of peace and of paradise. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, sir.
Give yourselves a beautiful hand.
Sir.
And let's give our Sister Brenda, a hand as well. We're in the 47-day challenge. And in this 47-day challenge, we're asked by our regional minister, Brother Minister Abdul Malik Saeed Muhammad. We're asked in these 47 days to make our prayers, all of them, as much as we can. We're asked in these 47-day challenge to come to every meeting in this 47-day challenge. We're asked to give in charity. Number 2, pour our obligatory to the MGT, to the FOI, to the MUI, to the 3-year economic program. We're asked to go after the dead in a way that we have never gone after the dead before. We're asked in this 47-day challenge, the brothers are asked to carry 100 final call newspapers in this 47-day challenge. And if you're already carrying 100, and I'm proud to say that, sisters, your brothers in Fresno have been carrying 100 final calls or more for over 3 to 4 years. I carry 725 a week. Brother Freeland carries 335 a week, 25 a week. Brother Hassan carries 225 a week. Brother Elijah carries 100 final calls a week. Elijah Muhammad I'm speaking of. Brother Christopher X carries 125 final calls a week. Let me say something about that. We're the only group. No, I'm not bragging. It's not braggadocious. We're talking about being consistent. We're talking about doing the number one job in the Nation of Islam is going after the dead. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
So, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said that a weak believer carries what? 100 final call newspapers. So when I was given the post a near 3.5 years ago, the question was asked to me, what would be my first duty of operation? I said to those brothers, my regional captain, along with my study group coordinator, Brother Hassan, and I believe our regional paper captain was on the line. I said, well, sir, brothers, the first thing that I think that we should do is broaden the distribution of the final call newspaper. And Minister Farrakhan said that a weak believer carries 100 final call newspapers. And it is my desire to see not only Fresno push 100 plus, but to see our whole entire region and ultimately the Nation of Islam carrying those 100 final call newspapers. So now, in the 47-day challenge, 3.5 years later, we see that nearly every brother in our region is carrying 100 final call newspapers. But wait a minute, hold on now, because you have the sisters who also are participating with the final call, the 47-day challenge. This includes the male and the female, the MGT and the FOI. And sisters on the sister side have been pushing 20 final call newspapers. But wait a minute, sisters. It's been reported to us as early as Thursday, right? And then repeated Friday, right? That the sisters pushing united with their numbers over 5,000 final call newspapers. It has never happened in the Western region before.
Okay.
There's a new spirit coming and rising amongst the West.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
And you all are going to receive, who haven't received, you're going to receive a video
Yes, sir.
from Brother Saad,
Okay.
the National Secretary of the Nation of Islam.
Right.
And sisters who haven't heard, and brothers who haven't heard, you're in for a treat. A wonderful treat.
Right.
About you, about me, about us.
Right.
And how Allah sees us, and He chose the West. He chose the Western region to be the example. Minister Farrakhan said to our regional minister some time ago,
Right.
when he was under the name Tony Muhammad.
Right.
He said, brother, I need the West Coast to become the example, so that I can take the West Coast with that example and allow the West Coast to be the whipping board for the whole entire nation of Islam.
That's what he said.
The Holy Quran has said, the question is raised, I make the sun rise in the east,
Come on.
but can you make it rise in the west?
Uh-oh. Come on.
Minister Farrakhan, when he decided to do the works of his father, he did it where? In a hotel room, right?
Right.
After this wonderful eye operation produced by our student, our brother minister, may Allah be forever pleased with him, Brother Jabril Muhammad.
That's right.
Locked him in a room for several days, right?
3 days, sir.
And his operation was a success.
Sure was.
He was on the boulevard in Beverly Hills, Sunset Boulevard. But on that day, and in those 3 days, the sun began to rise out here on the West Coast. So we thank Allah for choosing us, brothers and sisters.
Yes, sir.
We're not trying to make no fancy about you and me.
Come on.
It is, we have to come to an understanding. Listen, if you are doing what you're doing and I'm doing what I'm doing, and you feel that I feel that I'm not doing enough, that's a good feeling to have. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes, sir.
Wouldn't you agree?
Yes, sir.
There's always something else to do, right?
Always.
There's always an improvement that we can make upon. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
So don't beat yourself down if you're not able to make all of the prayers. Beat yourself down if you ain't making no prayers.
Come on.
Don't beat yourself down if you're not able to make all the meetings. Beat yourself down if you're not making any meeting at all. Notice I said, you beat yourself down. I ain't beating you down. Yeah, it's a hell of a thing, because I went somewhere and I heard something and I see you and I'm looking down on you. Where's that? Where's God in all of that?
Come on.
That's somebody walking around like he's so self-righteous. Allah is, I guess, well, I don't have to guess, he's pleased that, brother, I'm talking about me personally, is pushing 725 final calls a week. But don't get it twisted. That ain't nothing.
Right. Come on.
That is probably not even a drop in a big bucket.
Come on.
I'm trying to still collect the drop to put in the bucket. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because we got work to do. Is Fresno a mosque?
Come on.
Is Fresno a mosque?
No, sir.
Then who has work to do?
We do.
Who do?
Yes, sir.
Come on, brothers and sisters, who have work to do?
We do.
That's right.
Got a lot of work.
Listen, and listen to this. Time is at hand. This is from our dear beloved Messiah, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. He says, know that Allah is with us. Not think about it. There's a possibility.
Right.
No, he said, know that Allah is with who? Us. Then he makes it clear. Allah is with us, the believers. And Allah has promised in the Bible and Holy Quran that if we believe and put our trust in Him, He is sufficient as a protector, that no weapon formed against the true believers will prosper. Now, what does that mean, the true believer?
Come on.
That don't mean, Sister Andrea, that doesn't mean, Brother Finney, because you are consistent and I'm not. Somehow I'm not a true believer.
Come on.
The fact that I'm under these righteous teachings by the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, I am and you are, and we are the what? True believers. Is that clear?
Come on.
Because too many times, some of us tend to think so less of ourselves. I got work to do. You got work to do.
That's right.
Yes, we do.
Yes, sir.
We have to turn this city into a mosque.
Yes, sir.
We have to. It is critical for what is about to happen in a few more hours.
Right.
You can take that or let it alone, but it'd be wise for us to take it this morning.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we got work to do. When I turn on the TV, sisters, and I see, okay, it's absorb it. I'm just making sure we all awake on this one. Because we're about to bring up our minister, and he has a timely message that it is so critical to the hour. So we've been plucked, we've been pulled up, out, and been made an example for our community. It is not that we are better than our community.
Right.
Are we better than our
No,
community?
No, sir. No, sir.
However, we are better for our community. We're not better than, we're better for. All praise is due to Allah. So our dear beloved messenger, he goes on to say that the true believers
Right.
will prosper. We are the true believers, but it will not. As long as we stay with and on the right path and believe in Allah and come and follow me, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. We, Master Fard Muhammad. Let's get the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. Beautiful man.
Yeah.
So brothers and sisters,
Come on.
you and me are in the right place. Not this place. This is a physical place. But you and I are in the right place to hear the right word, to get up from that right place and continue to march forward doing the right thing. And we cannot fall back. Don't ball up your fist and rear back on your thumb and thinking that's how the job is done. If I may quote Nipsey Hussle,
Uh-oh.
this ain't no sprint. It's a marathon.
Right.
And tide go to the runner. But you gotta be willing to be running toward this truth. You gotta be willing to run toward your discipline. Don't run from it. Run toward your eating one meal a day. Don't run from it. Run toward your fasting. Run toward your praying. Don't run from it. Listen,
Yes,
if
sir.
these sisters are praying and us brothers are not praying, every time the work is mentioned, and that's every time, are they going to get the same response from us
No, sir.
that they're receiving?
Come on.
Because they are inhaling the word of Allah. Is that right?
Right.
And you are what you inhale, if you don't mind me changing it up a little. But
Right.
whatever your mind consumes, you become that. Is that right?
Right.
Yes, sir.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
You're not crazy. You're only crazy. We're only crazy when we allow that mindset to stay inside this beautiful mind of ours. You are beautiful people.
Yes, sir.
Yes. I am so honored, I feel so unworthy though, that Allah would choose me. I'm talking about to be born
Right.
and then to be given an opportunity to accept or reject the life-giving teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. I'm so happy, sister Kim. I'm so happy, brother Dwayne, that when I heard what I heard, the very first day, the very first moment when I heard his voice, I responded with an act. I had cocaine in my pocket. I got out of that car, I walked down to that drain, I took the cocaine and I threw it in the drain.
Cocaine in the drink.
Cocaine in the drain. All praise is due to Allah. Now, in telling that story, you gotta tell the truth. I did keep the marijuana. I'm going, as you know, you gotta take one step at a time.
Right.
But eventually I left that madness alone.
Come on.
And so in accepting this truth, you can't accept it in part, and you can't accept it on your terms or my terms. We have to accept it in its full. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And it's not an easy job, especially dealing with black people.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
Come on.
Especially dealing with us. We got so many hang-ups, right?
Yes, we do.
And many of them have been dunked on me and you, passed on from generation to generation, right? The life-giving teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad breaks such a curse. Praise be to Allah. Let's bring up our minister, our study group coordinator, Brother Hassan Muhammad, as he takes us further into our message. Can we break him on with a beautiful round of applause? We're just having an intimate conversation this morning. Allah designed this way this morning. Thank you as I greet you in peace. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, sir.
Brother Ansel, you something else, brother. You got the right glasses on. In the name of Allah, the beneficent and merciful, I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, who came to us in the person of Master Prophet Muhammad. We thank him for his coming and for raising in our midst a divine leader, teacher, and guide. The most honorable Elijah Muhammad, a man that we believe to be alive and in power. There's a scripture that says to the effect that if Christ is not risen, kind of paraphrase, then we have no hope at all. Well, the Christians 2,000 years ago believed that that was the man that the scripture is talking about. But what we believe here in the Nation of Islam is simply this, is that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is the Christ.
Yes, sir.
And if that he has not risen to the right hand of God, then you as black people have no hope at all.
Yes.
Come
Are we
on.
clear on that?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
So that's what we believe. And we believe that God did not stop with his divine intervention when he raised the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, that intervention continued.
Right.
When,
Yes,
as
indeed.
brother was saying in 1977 in that hotel room, we'll send you the clip, remind me,
Yes, sir.
when Brother Jabril detailed that meeting. Man. And then after that meeting, when you first met him, that's when all of the other, stuff took place, the long walk in that brown paper bag, where he had wrote something to show Minister Farrakhan who he was and where we were in scripture. Brother Ansar really, this morning as he was talking to you, he kind of was reminding us of our duty. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And we have a duty to Master Farad Muhammad. We have a duty to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And we have a duty to Minister Farrakhan. And we also have a duty to ourselves.
Right.
Yes, sir.
And so it is in their names, in the name of Master Farad Muhammad, in the name of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, in the name of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, that I greet you with the greeting words of peace and paradise. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam, sir.
How's everyone?
Fine, sir.
Did you all have the opportunity to hear from our student National Secretary, Brother Saad, this past Friday night?
Yes, sir.
Were you moved by that?
Yes, sir.
Were you?
Yes, sir.
For him to, with the numbers and the numerology, to show us that God is absolutely involved
Yes, sir.
in our rise here in the West. I feel like, Brother Ansar, let's give him a hand. And that I too, feel unworthy, to stand, before you.
Come on.
But sisters, I was reading this book, and I'm gonna give you my word right here in front of everybody. I'm gonna see if I can find this book. You don't have it?
You will not be able to find that book. You might be able to get a download, but you will not find it.
Oh, so you searched high and low?
Yes, sir.
Like Master Prophet Muhammad came? Searching high and low?
That's a wonderful book, too.
I was reading it last night. I picked it up, I think, at my first Savior's Day, and then on the flight home, I covered the whole 65 pages. Very, very powerful book. But it kind of alludes to what I want to speak to us about, this morning. Now, we don't have any first-time guests, right?
Right.
But as Brother Ansar said, we're going to continue to do all that we can to bring the dead.
Yes, sir.
Because that is what Almighty God Allah
Right.
came for.
Right.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that God said to him that, brother, I'm giving you the hardest job of any man that ever lived. Now you think about that. On this side of the deportation of the moon, which happened 66 trillion years ago, when the reality of God was taken away from the people. Prior to that, the people knew the reality of God. They knew that God was a man. Brother Jabril asked the question, may Allah be pleased with him. He said, what were we doing back then? He said, were we smart? He said, whatever it was, it had to be rather heavy. He said, what kind of relationships did the male and the female have that they could produce children that would produce stars? What kind of productivity is that? You and I, under the white man's Christianity, this false religion, have been made absolutely positively dead,
Yes, sir.
unproductive.
Right.
But now we are being introduced to that which will put us back on top of civilization. Now, our people don't know that.
Right.
Our people don't understand that.
No, sir.
But there's some very, very special people in this city that is in these seats right now that do understand that. And in that is your opportunity to prove God in. Have we gone to sleep?
Yes, sir.
Are we losing traction?
Yes, sir.
Are we losing faith?
Yes, sir.
Has it become so dark now that we can't even see the light? No, brothers and sisters, we will be the winners. We are living in the dawn.
Right.
As you can, I heard this black scientist, I forget his name, I can see his face.
Is it Neil Tyson?
Yeah, that Negro. He said, I see all of this destruction going on. This is what he said about God. And they say that God is all good and God is all powerful. But as he sees it, God can't be all good and God can't be all powerful for him to permit what is going on. See, that is a person that is detached from the true reality of God.
That's right.
This book says that God is the abaser. God is the destroyer.
Yes, sir.
God is the killer.
Right.
Is that right? You don't serve a punk God. You have to be given a religion where there's life and death, love and hate. Is that right?
Right.
Talk to me.
Come on.
So we may not fully understand, but we know from this teaching what causes or what makes hurricanes, right? What brings snow, rain, and earthquakes. Do we understand that?
Yes, sir.
And we also understand that a lot of that is coming because of the way that they're treating you.
Yes, sir. That part. Yes, sir. Thanks.
So if we believe in Allah, no matter what comes into our lives, we should be able to find peace. See? So you have Islam, you have Muslim, and you have Salam. Right? The significance of Islam is the making of peace. And so as a Muslim, no matter what comes into your life, if we are true
be able to find peace in our lives regardless of what the situation is. So Minister Farrakhan is like a snowball that does not change temperature regardless of what you put on it.
Wow.
He's like that. Does that make sense? Now, you know, if you put a snowball in the heat,
Right.
the snowball's gonna melt.
Come on.
Not Minister Farrakhan. No matter what kind of pressure you put on it, he's solid as a rock. Is that right?
That's right.
Regardless to whom or what. So when you hear a man talking like that, that's a man that either doesn't know God or doesn't believe in God. Because we know that God is going to kill this white man. And we know that it is the forces of nature that God is going to use to destroy the white man. How you want to fight somebody that can control nature?
Yeah.
I was listening to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I'm going to get into my subject here. And he said, for those of you who are sailors, and he was talking to me, I was a sailor. I ain't no sailor no more. He said, you know, there's powers out there on that ocean that play with those ships like a matchstick. Did you see that movie, 2012, when it opened up with all that destruction? Y'all see that?
Yes, sir.
When I was looking at that, I said, man, that's what's coming to America.
Yes, sir.
For real. That kind of destruction is on its way. But you and I have a chance to avoid it. But we have to do everything we possibly can in our being to be able to do that. Now, all of us have been chosen
Yes, sir.
by God himself, all that the enemy didn't send. So any of you are in here that was sent by the enemy, Brother Abdul Malasai, he said, you aren't chosen. Not you. And you know, and if you are that kind of person, you should ask yourself, why would God choose you to be used like that? Because opposition is ordained. We can't prove that we're the righteous if we don't have a fight. No, right? You can't say that I'm the heavyweight champ and you don't want to get in the ring. So when we accepted Islam, we have accepted a challenge. Is that right?
Right.
And we're saying that we will not bow down. We will not quit.
Right.
We will not turn back.
No, sir.
I don't care what the situation is. I was looking at my grandfather's obituary one day, and I was down in the dumps, and I pulled his obituary out, and I was looking at it, and I was crying. I said, Grandpa, with the help of Allah, we're going to get this cracker back for all of hell.
That's right.
Come on.
He poured on you. God is here to settle the score,
Yes, he is.
and you have been chosen. Regardless of how you feel about yourself. Sisters, when I was reading this book, Sister Ava, may Allah be pleased with her, she's really talking to the sisters in this book. But you know, if you put he where she says she, you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Right? She's talking to us too.
Yes, sir.
But she said, of Allah's abundant mercy, abundant mercy, you are putting your small time feelings or your small time thoughts about yourself, right? You are imposing, she said, God's thinking about you on him. Am I making sense to you? See, you think, or we think that we're nothing. But because we think like that, we think that God thinks like that. So now we are imposing our cheap thinking on him. He chose you.
Yes.
I heard the Supreme Captain say, yeah, I know I'm crazy, right? But he chose me.
Come on.
That's right.
Yeah, he chose me. So what you got to say about it? He's here to kill a white man. He's here to remove the devil's civilization. What do we have to say about it? Nothing. He can't help himself,
Right.
but you can help yourself.
Come on.
So now the concentration has got to be on who? It's got to be on me. It's got to be on you. It's got to be on us. Because we are not only the saviors of our people, we are the saviors of the entire world.
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
I hope so. So now what I wanted to talk to you very briefly, we're not gonna be long, is the aims of Islam. What are we here for? What are we here to do?
Come on.
Absolutely. And you should think about this and I want you to think about, we don't have any first timers here. I want you to think about why you came to this. What was you thinking? I know where I was. I know what I was thinking. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So you always got to get back to your why. Because it is your why that drives your will.
Right.
And desire feeds the will. So if you're not clear about why you came here, you got to get that part together first. Because there's so many things that come into your life as an obstacle that can take you off the path that you have chosen. Nobody put a gun to your head, did they?
Yes, sir.
Did anybody say, bear witness there's no God but Allah, Muhammad is now, I'll blow your brains out? It didn't happen like that for me. I heard like you heard.
Right.
I heard a word. I believed. I didn't know. I believed. And still today, if we're going to be successful, our belief and our faith will always be much bigger than our knowledge.
Right.
So you one of these kind of people that's trying to figure out everything, you lost. It's too much to know, especially if you came in the door today.
Come on.
You're going to come in here and hear something, and you're going to believe and live or reject or die. That's the kind of hour we in right now. So those of you, all praises due to Allah. So those of you who have been blessed to have eyes to see and ears to hear and a heart to accept,
Come on.
Minister Farrakhan said, you are lucky to believe in Master Farad Muhammad. Lucky. All of us are not that blessed.
Yes, sir.
All praise is due to Allah. So, in this book, The Restrictive Law of Islam, is where our aims come out of. So I told the brothers, and I'm gonna order some of these, and because the restrictive law is our success.
Right.
If we don't live according to the law, then we have no success. So, what can they give me into something to turn me?
Right.
What could they give me? What could they offer me? And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad tried him in such a way. He said, I did everything to that man
Right.
to make them hate. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad goes on to say, the author of this of Islam is God. We cannot imagine God being the author of any other religion but the one of peace. Since peace is the very nature of God, and peace he seeks for his people, and peace is the nature of the righteous, most surely Islam is the religion of peace. It is the religion offered to the people to bring about peace of mind and contentment after the destroyers of peace with falsehoods have been destroyed. You've been destroyed by falsehood. We don't have any peace because we don't know how to live under God. Now, America is a place, and you've heard it said here before, she takes God out of everything.
Everything. Facts.
God is not in economics. God is not in the medicine. God is not in education. God is not in the politics. And I repeat myself, God ain't in none of it, right?
Right.
So when you go into Frances Cress Welsing's book, the ISIS papers, she makes a diagram. It's a circle. It's a pie chart.
Come on.
And she breaks up the pie chart, but in that pie chart, she shows at the center of the pie chart, there's a circle that says white supremacy.
Yep.
White supremacy. That's what we live under. You all right, brother?
Yes, sir, fine.
White supremacy. Okay? Islam comes to remove that. You say in the church, I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me, everything but get rid of white supremacy, right? That's the exception. We can't get white folks up off us. We can do everything else. But Minister Farrakhan says all means all. We don't pledge allegiance to that flag. We pledge allegiance to what? This flag. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Farrakhan said that the root word of allegiance is all. Well, what does all mean? He said all means all. It means everything. So we can't pledge allegiance to these two flags. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad goes on. The entire creation of Allah is of peace, not including the devils, who are not the creation of Allah God, but the race created by an enemy of Yaqub. You are created.
Yes, sir.
The white man was made.
Big difference.
You are the created man. Allah God is a self-created black man. Is that clear? Is that clear? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
That's who you are. And he came later. Okay? He goes on to say, our people, he goes on to say from the Holy Quran, yea, whoever submits himself entirely to Allah, and he is the doer of good to others, he has his reward from his Lord. There shall be no fear for him, nor shall they grieve. And he goes further down in the paragraph that says, Christianity is one of the most perfect black slave-making religions on the planet. It has completely killed the so-called Negroes mentally. You have been murdered mentally. So we got to have the true religion of Islam. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
Now, aim number 3. It says, we will not make war nor fight wars we will not make war nor fight wars for any against except in self-defense. We don't pick fights.
Right.
Right.
We don't pick fights.
No, sir.
The righteous, in truth, we don't start fights. We just finish them.
That's right.
That's the way that go.
Yes, sir.
Right? In this Quran here, we are permitted to fight. Fighting is enjoined upon us.
That's right.
Right? It's
Yes,
part
sir.
of our religion.
Right.
Fighting is part of our religion. God gives everything in nature something to fight with.
Yes, sir.
But you're not supposed to go around picking fights.
That's right.
This white man went all over the world destroying people. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Went with missionaries.
Right.
Right? Then he went with, then after the missionaries, then he came with his Marines. Then after he came with his Marines, he came with the merchants. Is that right?
Right.
No, God is opposite that religion. Establishing his religion with the sword. The only time you pick up the sword, the Quran even says Allah permits hateful speech for those who are oppressed. Isn't that something?
That's something.
Yeah. War words. You say something to me, woof, woof, we woof right back. Woof, woof. Right? Them Jews was whooping at Jesus, and Jesus said, we woof right back. Yeah, you are of your fatherly death. Now what? Trying to call my mother, trying to say my mama was fornicating and all, man, them Jews, man, it was after him. And you see the same thing in Minister Farrakhan, don't you? They say something about them, you hit him, you hit him right back. Look, when they was really in the heat of battle, Minister Farrakhan said he went to this man's house, Jesse Jackson and some other civil rights leaders were at the house, and they were trying to tell Minister Farrakhan, say, hey man, you need to back up a little bit. And Minister Farrakhan said he cannot tell us the words. He said he was the most undignified minister. Could you imagine?
Yes, sir.
He was cussing them cats out. He said, first of all, I'm in a fight.
Yes, sir.
When you accept Islam, you are accepting a fight. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Internally as well as externally. He said, I'm in a fight, and I didn't start the fight. They started the fight. And now you want me to cow down. He said, no, sir. If they come at us as Muslims in an unrighteous way, we have a right to respond. Is that right?
Right.
And that's why they say the religion is one of violence. Well, man, if I'm choking you, what are you going to say? Allahu Akbar, you know. Allahu Akbar. Come on, let me go. Allahu Akbar, stop. Allahu Akbar. Is that what you want to do?
No, sir.
No, I'm asking you. That's why we go through them damn defense classes, right? The brother said when they grab you like that, this is what you're supposed to do.
Right.
Talk about Allahu Akbar. Let me go, please. You know, I'm trying to be righteous. The right thing for you to do is to respond.
Right.
To get them the hell up, excuse that expression, but to get them the hell up off you. Now, white folks have been on us for 400 years and counting. Is that right?
That's right.
What should be the righteous response? The righteous response is you bring everything that you have, the good, the bad, and the ugly, all of it,
Yes, sir.
to bear down, right, on what it is that we have to do to get these people up off us. And see, if you're a believer, that's what you want.
Yes, sir.
Believers are fighters.
Yes, sir.
Oh, y'all ain't like that?
Yes,
Room went quiet.
We fight.
Believers are fighters. All praise is due to Allah. Believers are fighters. Ms. Farrakhan did a tape part 1 and 2. It's on YouTube. You should go get it. It's called We Are the Overcomers.
Come on. Yes, sir.
We got to fight to get our people here. Don't feel like you aggravating them. Somebody else is calling them. I'm trying to get Brother Henry to come to the mosque. I'm trying to get Sister Kim to come to the mosque. Right? Everybody else is calling them. Let's go to the dance. Let's go to the party. Let's go smoke some weed. And here we go talking about, well, I called them twice. You come on the car lot? You didn't go home or something? Call you every day. Sister Kim, you said you was gonna come by here, buy this car. I'm gonna come by next week. I want to hear that. What you doing? What you doing right now?
Right.
You ain't doing nothing. What you doing right now?
Right.
Well, come on over. Well, I can't come. Yes, you can. Come on. Right now.
Right.
You ain't doing nothing. Stop. I said, come on, you ain't doing nothing. You know, just come on down right now. So you ask people, what you doing on Sunday? Nothing. Going to church. No disrespect. You ain't doing nothing. Nothing.
Right.
Don't even, like, you know, Brother Answer, I told you one time, I said, we're the adults in the conversation. They don't know nothing.
Come on.
Only thing they know is they need to be here with us. And we got to do everything we possibly can, right, to get them here. All praise is due to Allah. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
So now peace is the way of righteousness. So if we're in a fight, it's because they insulted us.
Right.
Brother Answer, I say, brother, you know, you can say whatever you want to say, ma'am. But whatever you do, don't get out of the car. You niggers. Right? Giving us the finger. Brother Answer, I said, yeah. You said that while you was traveling that way. Keep going where you go. But see, you know, once you get out the car,
That's a whole other situation.
that's a whole different kind of
It sure
conversation,
is.
right?
Absolutely.
Once you get out, that's
Right.
it, brother. Now you done got out the car.
Right.
You know,
Which has happened.
You done got out the car.
Got out the car. You got out the
All
car,
praise is
too.
due to Allah, right? See, that's who you are. You're the righteous. You are the best. You are the powerful. So when they talking to you, they don't know that they're talking to the Messiah. When they talking to you, they don't know who they talking to. Look, I'm based on my life experience, I'm not bragging. Allah just blessed me. I don't care who I'm standing in front of, regardless of class, creed, or color. If they ask me a question, I can help them. Isn't that a blessing?
Yes, sir.
To be able to say that no matter who's standing in front of you, I got something to give you that can help improve your condition. That's what Islam gives to us. You have been given the answers to the problems of the entire world.
Right.
You understand? You have been given those answers. And you have to accept that fact. And with that comes a responsibility. Your aim here is to get your people to see and to understand. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
So we don't go to war unless it's for righteousness. We're not sending our young men into the Army, into the Navy, into the Marine Corps
Right.
to die for freedom
That they never had.
that they never even got.
Right.
My uncle went. My grandfather's brother went.
Right.
My blood brother went. Got two uncles that went.
Mm.
Blood brother that went. All willing, right? You take that pledge, solemnly swear to defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. You've never taken that swear. But the regional captain said that's a pledge that we need to take when we join the Nation of Islam. That's the pledge that we need to take, that we pledge that we will protect the Constitution of the Nation of Islam against all enemies, foreign and domestic. What's the domestic enemy? That's the enemy that's coming from the inside.
Mm.
Yeah, we got domestic enemies, starting with this one right here. This is the biggest enemy I got right here. This nigga right here, ooh-wee.
Mm.
But Minister Farrakhan said, once you get control of this one,
Come on.
the outer one is much easier.
Right.
Because the outer enemy is looking for cooperation
Come on.
with the inner enemy.
He opened the door.
See? Yeah, he the one who opened the door. The inner enemy. See, you the enemy, you the one let the people in. It's like a Trojan horse. You ever know the story of the Trojan horse, right? They were offered a gift of this big horse, but inside of the horse was all the soldiers. So when the door came open, all the soldiers came out and destroyed the kingdom. Is that right?
Yeah.
See, so your enemy here, this is your Trojan horse. You got to get control. Because the enemy can't make a move inside unless he, from the outside, unless he can first make it from the inside.
Right.
Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, aim number 4. We almost done. We shall do our best to clean ourselves. To do what?
Clean ourselves.
Clean ourselves. And our poor people of North America of filth. Wow. We have been made a filthy people.
Yes, we have.
We are not that by nature. We have been made that way. And you got to keep that in mind, because in the FOI manual, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad says, do not condemn, do not criticize, and there's another C word that he used in there. Criticize,
Complain.
condone, complain, because those 3 C's will rob you of the spirit to serve. See, if you're trying to get me, and every time you see me, you complaining about me, what's wrong with me? You condone, well, you know what's wrong with me. I've been made filthy. I've been made ignorant. As a result of that, I may have become a drunk. Most of our people are lazy.
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Most of our people are lazy. That's in the refuge prayer. Oh Allah, I seek thy refuge from anxiety and grief, lack of strength, and what? Laziness. Our people are lazy, right? Falsehood, drugs, adultery, fornication, dependent to the self-respect and self-sufficiency and universal recognition. We are taught that Islam dignifies us. Would you look at us and say that we're a dignified people?
Yes, sir.
We have been made undignified. You need a religion that's going to restore to you your self-respect. We have lost all respect for ourselves. Brother Jabril, may Allah be pleased with him, said, look, if you had a cup of water and then you put water in the cup and then you dry the cup all the way out, if that water in there represents righteousness, freedom, just knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, he said the cup has been so thoroughly wiped clean that you wouldn't think that there was anything at all in the cup ever. Am I making sense?
Yeah.
Y'all understand what I'm trying to say?
Yes, sir.
You are, you just empty. We're empty. But we have to be given a teaching that will restore us to our former glory. That's why we're here. When we bring our people here, they don't know that they've been robbed. They really think that they're doing okay. Could you imagine our brothers and sisters who are geniuses, or what they would call geniuses, in the white man's world?
Come on.
When they come in here, we find out they're just dead as a doornail.
Right.
Dead to the knowledge of God, dead
Right.
to the knowledge of self, dead to the knowledge of the devil, dead to the knowledge of the time and what must be done. And you wonder why we can't get anything from them is because they have been murdered. They're dead. That's right. And lastly, we close on this, to pull out cash that each and every believer can spend in a national Muslim treasure for the purposes of teaching and training our men and women in both home and foreign universities to manufacture our own domestic needs, such as clothing, home furnishings, food, shelter, and sell the surplus. We wanted, I think it was Singer. Help me out, Brother Ansar. You know Singer sewing machines?
Yeah.
We wanted Singer to sew some sewing machines for the MGT.
Right.
Is that right?
Yes, yes, sir.
They wouldn't do it. Jews. But because we have self-respect and we're seeking universal recognition, we sent the national student MGT captain
Right.
with a delegation
That's right.
to China.
That's right.
All praises be to Allah. See, that's what self-respect will do for you.
Right.
We don't need you.
Right.
See, if we recognize that black people, look at this, black, brown, red, and yellow. You see this fella out here? That's the white boy. He ain't in that. Y'all see that? Talk to me. You see that?
Yes, sir.
Now, if you got universal brotherhood with your brown and your red and your yellow brother, then you don't need the white man no more. You outnumber him 11 to 1.
Yes, sir.
But you don't understand your relationship universally. But because we have a teacher that does, he says, let's pick up the phone. Look at man, pick up the phone, call China. Go through the translation, do what you got to do. Put the national MGT captain, the student regional captain, Brother Dwayne, and a delegation to go to represent us in China. And they came back with sewing machines that we did not need. See? Now look, brothers and sisters, and I'm closing. The white man never wanted us to come into economic power. Politics without economics is symbol without substance. you live in a play-to-pay system. How much does it cost to run for the President of the United States? It's almost into the billions. Costs money, doesn't it? So when you vote for somebody, if you don't know who's backing that person, you really don't know who you're voting for.
Right.
Because the Supreme Court said, I don't have, look, if I'm running for office, I don't have to tell you who my backers are.
Come on.
I don't have to tell you. I can just come and ask you to help me. But the majority of the money that's being given is to the ones who I'm going to be most loyal. Does that make sense?
Right.
That's why you got a place down there in Washington, D.C. called K Street. You know what K Street is? K Street is where all the lobbyists hang out.
Yes.
What's a lobbyist? A lobbyist is a person that, if he's the politician and he's running for office, I said, look, man, you know, the aviation lobby, we got, $500,000 for you towards your campaign, depending upon, now there's some legislation coming down. You follow what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So, brother, we give you the $500,000, you got to sign off on the legislation. That's the way the game is played. So then, as black people, if your economics is not right, nothing is right. You know why the Nation of Islam is free?
Yeah.
Because we pay our own way.
Yes, sir.
That's why we pay charity.
Right.
We pay it to the number 2 poor to help the minister take care of his family and the poor people of our nation. Is that right?
That's right.
Minister Farrakhan does a whole lot of stuff with that money for people that we know nothing about.
Right.
But because I trust him, I'm not worried about it. Then we pay into a national obligatory charity, which helps run our nation.
Right.
We're a nation. Did y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
We are a nation. We pay FOI dues because Minister Farrakhan's got to have security. You can't have the brothers out there walking around securing the minister. They got families, don't they? Mortgages, rent, food. We're a nation. And we want to prove ourselves to be what? Self-sufficient. That's why we're here. And to the degree that we can prove that, we can say to the world, treat us. We won't even have to say that. They will treat us that way because of the way that we treat ourselves.
Right.
You know, Elijah Muhammad in the Fall of America said, you can't ask the white man to treat you as his equal. My grandchildren in Sister Andrea's house are not her equal. If she's paying the rent and buying all the food and providing the clothes, how are the children her equal? Think about that. Are the children in your house, all of us who got children, are the children in your house your equal? No, talk to me. Are they your equal? No, absolutely not. So now if this is the white man's house and he provides the jobs, he provides the schools, he provides clothing, he provides shelter, how can we say that we're his equal? Can't do it. No, we're not his equal. No, and he treats us like we're not his equal. Sit where I tell you to sit, live where I tell you to live, do what I tell you to do. All the money you spend got my face on it. I give you your driver's license and your social security number. I confer the degrees on you. White folks are still conferring degrees on people that live in Africa. Check that out.
Yeah.
In some places in Africa, they got white folks' face on the money.
Yes, sir.
In Africa. We want Islam. We want peace. We want freedom. We want justice. We want equality. That's what we're aiming for. That's the direction that we're being pointed in. Ain't no heaven in the sky. No. The heaven that God has come to give you heaven while you live. And look, if we gotta struggle, why not struggle to do something for ourselves?
Right.
You won't have to struggle anyway.
Right.
Life is a fight no matter how you look at it. If you're involved in foolishness, you're struggling.
Right.
You might as well struggle to have some peace some freedom, some justice, and some equality.
Right.
If you got to fight, damn it, what we gonna fight for? I like this religion. And I'm learning a lot. Yeah. Pain is good. Yeah. Wherever you find success, first there was a sacrifice. Is that right? You ain't gonna be free if you're not willing to sacrifice. So look, brothers and sisters, let's be clear about what it is that we're here to do. And let's strive hard. If we didn't get a first time guest, I didn't get one either. This lecture was probably more for me than it was for you, in truth. But I'm telling you, we just have to strive hard. You hear what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Strive hard in the way of this. It's in you. You can do it. You may not believe it, but Brother Nori was telling me in a conversation that he was having with the minister in the back of his car. He was going for a ride, and Brother Nori said to him, he said, sometimes, Brother Minister, I just don't believe in myself. He said, I understand, brother, but it's more important that you believe in him. It came from you. Believe. That's all. Believe. I don't know. It's not asking you about what you know. Believe. Your faith and your belief, listen, will lead you into more and more knowledge. Your faith and your belief will always be bigger than your knowledge. Did y'all hear that?
Yes, sir.
Always. And if you stay around in the process long enough, you will have your questions answered. But you got to stay in the process.
Right.
You can't be willing to quit just because you come up on something that you quite don't understand. If you don't believe it, it's really rooted in your misunderstanding of what it is we're trying to tell. Any disagreement that anybody has with what we teach is rooted in their ignorance and their misunderstanding of it. That's all it is. You don't quite understand. But you got to stay. And you got to be willing to learn, right? You got to be willing to be coached. You understand what I'm saying? I don't quite know. We don't know, but look. You telling me that just to believe you? Yeah, look. How many of you have ever been lost and had to ask a complete stranger for directions?
Yes.
Okay then. You didn't know that person.
Right.
Excuse me, sir, can you kind of show me where gate 88 is at? Whatever, wherever you at, right?
Right.
And they say, yeah, go right through the doors, take a left, and then you go and take a left, and you fall right into the ditch. No, I'm just teasing, right? But you just believed.
Right.
That's all you did. You just believed. How many of you have ever went to a restaurant because somebody invited you to the restaurant? Okay then, you just believed it. You didn't go in there and say, I gotta inspect the kitchen. Who's the cook? Who where's the resume? You didn't do that. So yeah, we're telling you to believe us. That's what we're telling you. Believe it because I said it. It won't be the first time. It won't be the first time. Talking about I just can't believe no man just because a man says something. You crazy? You do it every day. You do it every day. So God says, believe in me and pray to me, and I will what? Answer you. And Sister Ava said a lot of times you don't get your prayers, don't get answered sometimes because you don't pray right. Your prayer is incomplete. And then sometimes when God does answer your prayer, because you really didn't believe, you didn't see the answer when it came. That's what she said in this book. You are the best.
Yes, sir.
You are the righteous.
Yes, sir.
You are the powerful. Believe it.
Right.
That's all. And then act on it. God came in person. And we have evidence to prove it. But most of what you want to grow to come and to understand is going to be based on the quality of your belief, which out of that is going to come an action, which is going to show people that you have chosen correctly. But it starts with you believing. Am I clear?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Believe in God, and believe in yourself, and believe that you know, and believe that you can do what must be done. Believe. May Allah bless you with the light of understanding.
Yes, sir.
I leave you in peace. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum.
Let's bring Brother Ansar back to the rostrum to make announcements and close us in prayer. Let's bring him on, Brother Ansar. Assalamu alaikum, family.
Let's give Brother Hassan Muhammad another round of applause. How many are here for their very first, second, third time? Or consider yourself at the present a guest? How many are here for their first, second, or third time? Well, I'm gonna raise my hand, because every time I come, it feels like the very first time. I always hear something. Thank you, sister. It feels like I hear something that I didn't quite see it that way until hearing it come in the way that it was given from the roster. So those who are here for their first, second, or third time and believe that what you heard today is the truth, and that it should be taught to our people, how many believe that this message from the life-giving teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad should be taught to our people? All hands went up. This is the accepting part of our meeting. It's always in the closing of our meeting. So those who are here visiting us and believe that what you heard is the truth and should be taught to our people, how many brothers or sisters would like to join? Joining meaning standing up from where you are, and it's a physical, symbolic gesture that you're making, but there's an application that takes place shortly thereafter, you and I standing up. So how many brothers or sisters would like to join the Nation of Islam and begin the process of becoming an MGT or an FOI? FOI, the fruit of Islam, and MGT, a Muslim girl in training with the GCC, the General Civilization class. Is there any brother or sister that would like to take such a bold, courageous step in the right direction? Well, here's what we ask to the brothers as well as the sisters. Keep coming to the meeting. But when you come with the best of spirit and the best of heart, and come with an open heart and an open mind. Have your ears open as we believe you all did today. And we just ask that you keep coming. Let's thank God, Allah, for our guests here. At this particular time, we want to take up charity. Brother, if you would get the receptacles, Brother Elijah for the brother side, and sister, the receptacle for the sister side. Now listen, brothers and sisters, this charity that we're raising, it is to help what we do here locally. All went through this process today of hearing the life-giving teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So we thank you for your charity, brothers and sisters. In the announcements, first announcements coming from the rostrum, and then if there's any floor announcements, we'll take those as well. July the 16th in Greater Los Angeles, our Western Region minister and, well, not just the minister, but our brothers and sisters out in the Western Region are having an acknowledgement of the Crips and Bloods. Now, we are not acknowledging that they're Crips and Bloods, but they are these are organizations that are not fully organized. The Nation of Islam is not against Crips and Bloods. No, we're against their activities. Absolutely. We don't want to break up the Crips and the Bloods. We want them to unify in a way that is not detrimental to their community and their people as well as other communities, but we want them to be unified, because let's not pretend. The Crips and the Blood is not the biggest gang in any city. What's the biggest gang in any city?
Police.
The police department. Well organized, right?
Yes, sir.
Aren't they?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. They listen to them on their call. We're gonna do a drive-by. They use the same. No, really.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, they put drugs on us, don't they, Brother Elijah?
Yes,
They
sir.
put guns in our. They'll arrest me, put a gun on me from another murder to have me be taken for that murder. I don't got nobody in court to represent me, so I'm washed up the river. Especially when they start reading from the judge chamber all the stuff that I done up to that part. So we're not against the Crips and the Bloods. We're against their activity. Originally, CRIP didn't stand for what it has been degenerated down to. Crips standing for Community Revolutionaries in Progress. It was erased because white officers were going around raping black girls. Has a little bit more story to it, but those were one of the elements. So those brothers united right here in Fresno as well. They united in the late 60s, early 70s, and they said no. And at a time, no white cops were even allowed in black communities because of their behavior. And the Crips took their point from the Black Panthers, and the Black Panthers took their points from where? The Nation of Islam. So don't get it twisted. Anytime the leader comes out to the West Coast, the gang members are the first ones there. Is that right, Brother
Yes, sir.
Elijah?
That's right.
And sometimes they get more money than any of them. Is
That's
that right?
right. That's
Not that we
right.
into getting no money, but when we raise charity, we got to get the minister out of that place safe and sound. Is that right?
Right.
That take money to move the minister like that. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
So this celebration, June the 16th, in sunny Los Angeles, our Western Regional Headquarters, Mosque number 27, the Nation of Islam from this region. Where you are, sister, where you from, brother, in this region. We want to acknowledge the Crips and the Blood. And we're going to give them awards for the good deeds that they have been doing. Some of them will come to the mosque and had their other brothers as well as sisters to come to the mosque. Not so much brothers and sisters that they became Muslims that day. But what do we say for those who are here as our guests and they don't actually stand that day? We say what? Keep coming, right? And then by you coming, brother and sister, by them coming, brothers and sisters, then their behavior begins to change because they hear something. Maybe not that day, but keep on coming. They hear something like, it's like this man was out with me all night last night.
Right.
He's running my behavior to me.
Right.
And he's not condemning me, he's redeeming me.
Right.
Is that right? So the award ceremony is to celebrate the good of what our brothers and sisters in those street organizations that have not yet been fully organized. We want to represent and we want to recognize them in their good efforts. You know, the Holy Quran says settle on the best part,
Right.
not the worst part. Settle on the best part of the human being. And so that's what we intend to do. So that'll be taking place June the 16th, and I've asked our regional minister, our regional captain, Brother Captain Eileen, Fresno, at least the brothers. I would love to have the sisters to come too, but I tend to speak on behalf of the brothers because I'm a brother. So, and then the sisters, of course we want our sisters to come, but when our sisters travel, that's a unique move. We're on extra security. You understand that, brothers?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, because if anything happens to those sisters, who's in trouble?
We are.
Who are?
We are.
Yeah, start with me first. I ain't going out like that one. So it's not so much that the brothers are the only ones that are going. Of course, our sisters, our mighty MGT here in Fresno are welcome to come, but I have to be honest, it was for actually to get the brothers to come out June the 16th for Los Angeles.
Oh, yes, sir.
Yes. So also, those flyers that the brothers and sisters received
Yes, sir.
last week, the week before, and some of you received some today, simply take those flyers and invite someone out to the mosque, to the study circle, to the Muhammad's meetings on Sundays. And if you get a commitment out of them, pull out the pen and the pad and get their name and number. And once you have a conversation with them sisters and brothers, send that information up to me and I'll come right behind that brother or that sister and simply send them out an invite and invite them out on your behalf. Okay, brothers and sisters?
Yes, sir.
Is there any announcements from the floor? Sister Brenda, yes ma'am.
We have zucchini bread, that's it.
Oh yes, we have the zucchini bread in the back there. I think it's $5 for each one of those breads that Sister Brenda makes. She does a great job of doing that too. So there's no more announcements. Well, brothers, we will get into the field immediately right after prayer and after our guests have been secured for their secured it back to their vehicles. So with that being said, brothers and sisters, at this particular time, we would all ask you to stand so that we can close.